Tuesday, guys. Welcome to the morning sprint. My name is Jackney Gray. Let's get right into it. So, we all know football season is happening right now. We got that fantasy football about to kick off as we speak. A lot of people super duper excited about that. I typically am not that big of a fantasy football person. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really familiar with it whatsoever, but we're going to chat about it later on coming up in the sprint. Get Jazzy Jazzy here. Maybe she can teach me a little lessons about fantasy football. But again, my knowledge on it is very small, but a lot of people very, very excited about it. First and foremost, moving on, we got this thing coming out of Virginia Tech. Something really cool that they can kind of pat themselves on the back with. They're among the top 20 public universities in the nation. Get these details. Check this out. According to a new report from U.S. News and World Report's 2024 Best Colleges report, Virginia Tech tied for the number 20 spot, which is a 3-spot jump from last year's rankings. The report used 19 measures of academic quality, such as graduation rates, affordability, value of degree after graduation, and more. University ranks 47th overall for national universities and 13th for best undergraduate engineering programs that offer PhD options. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When my first time hearing about Virginia Tech and all that good stuff was when I moved here, and I realized that Hokies is a whole nother deal. Like, everybody is all about them, some VT, and I get it now. I get the hype, and it's cool to see that it's getting recognized on a national level like that. Like, I think that is super duper legit. Speaking of national recognition, here on the Sprint, we always cover those stories that are definitely serious. Sometimes that'll make you send an extra prayer or two out there for different communities. And obviously, we covered the wildfires that happened in Lahaina. Well, get this, we got kind of a symbolic deal going on. The banyan tree in Lahaina showing new signs of life. This is just weeks after the wildfires ravaged the town. Now, this is why this is so significant. The historic tree, which was planted 150 years ago, is said to be the largest banyan in the country. Positive sign is the tree's long-term recovery is that you can see a group of leaves sprouting alongside charred foliage. This progress comes after a group of Maui arborists, landscapers, and volunteers have come together to care for the tree, ensuring that the ground around the tree is well watered, aerated, and even giving it a compost treatment in an attempt to facilitate its growth. So again, like I said, I think this is kind of a symbolic deal because literally you look at that green, it's just coming out of this charred bark. It's almost like one of those situations where you can literally see a community is trying to rebuild, that life is trying to return. And the fact that this is happening, I think this is going to be a positive sign for everybody in that community that looks toward that tree and see the historic value in it and seeing that Mother Nature itself is working to rebuild as well. Obviously, they're going through a lot of stuff, and we got several different resources that if you guys want to continue to figure out how you can send help, please go to our website, WSLS.com. Got all that good stuff listed there for you. Now, I am a baby person. I love anything talking about babies. I'm not ready to have one my own yet, but I will say I love seeing the tiny little human beings after, just the concept of them being inside of a human being's body for 9 months and coming out as an actual moving, breathing creature. I think that is miraculous. But we got this really cool thing that's happening. So September is Neonatal Intensive Care Unit Awareness Month. And having a baby in the NICU can be an emotional roller coaster for new parents. But new research shows that placing a live webcam in the NICU may allow for remote bonding and ease worry. I think that is 100% true. So researchers studied 59 infants and how their families used a 24/7 webcam. Overall, findings suggest having a virtual connection to their baby help parents, especially those experiencing stress.
Our finding that on the days the parents were not able to come in, but they logged in more, just shows that it was really helpful for the parents, the webcams, to bond with their children.
Now, next steps include exploring whether frequent use of webcams increases breast milk production. Doctors say that that's important because generally NICU babies who are breastfed tend to have better outcomes. So I think this is so cool. Like, this reminds me of a story that I did with the Deep Blue Ridge. A mother was telling me about how her son was born super duper early. He was a twin, and unfortunately, one of the twins had passed away. But she stayed at the hospital. She lived there. She obviously wanted to touch him, but she couldn't because, there are health factors in that. But I can only imagine having that technology back there to be able to see your baby. the entire time, watch it grow, or watch him or her grow. I think that is something that would come in handy in general. So obviously you got webcams set up for pets when you're not home to watch them. Just imagine for all of us non-parents out there how that feeling of security would be, being able to watch your little one who came out and obviously are fighting for their lives. So huge blessing right there. Big shout out going that way in that particular research. Also, we got something else cool coming up. We got this burnout. Everybody experiences it, especially at work. I know you guys don't know it, but our producer, Rebecca, she is our Virginia Today producer. She usually is in here with me working on Virginia, or not Virginia Today, but the morning sprint. But hands are like literally juggling everything at this moment. So obviously it's easy for her to feel burnout. Several people feels burnout on a daily basis, and this particular professor is trying to figure out how to end that burnout. So Dr. Julie Hazlip is a professor at UVA School of Nursing. Her research focuses on mattering, which means people need to feel valued at their jobs to help prevent burnout. She says that the best way for people to avoid becoming mentally and physically exhausted at work is to make sure they're helping others. She says that you can feel burnout more than just your job, so it's important to apply this concept to other areas of your life too. That includes work, home life, people who are parents of young children, having to balance that, balance bills, balance marriage life, and come to work and have to deal with stress. Yeah, that burnout is something that all of us are familiar with. So these are just a few steps for you guys to take to try to manage that. Sometimes therapy is also a good deal. I know my best friend Rachel, she has been using therapy, and she says that it's like literally been such a really great aspect of her life that has helped her manage, her mental health throughout this burnout with work. But yeah, if you guys need some more tips, go to our website, WSLS.com. And if you have tips yourself on how you particularly deal with burnout, send it our way. We would love to hear about it. So we have the record-breaking year for the Beaver Dam Farm Sunflower Festival in Buchanan. This is even when they had to close on Sunday, y'all. They had a record number of people show up, 6,400 exactly. They visited the event on Saturday. She says that that's 1,400 more than they previously had in a single day. Rain forced them to close on Sunday, but otherwise beautiful conditions led to large crowds, and they hope to continue to improve as the largest sunflower festival on the East Coast. Sunflowers will be turned into bird seed when they dry up in December. The bags will be sold in a few local stores. So yeah, congratulations to them. I already know that that's difficult, always trying to balance out. You got this event that pops up once a year. You want it to be perfect, and the weather is very unpredictable. And the fact that they had to close and still saw a record-breaking number of people want to come out and enjoy some beautiful sea of yellow sunflowers, that's cool, man. So God was looking out for them. That's something that we can always clap our hands for. Good congratulations there. Hopefully they have a successful year tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next year. So speaking of weather, today, if you guys have been waking up in the mornings, I've been cranking up that heat. It's been chilly, man. And everybody likes to wrap up in the building. I completely understand, especially around this time of year. But meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us now. Yes, still going to be cooler than the hot temperatures, but it's going to be fairly a comfortable day. So meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us right now with our Tuesday forecast.
Hey there, guys. Happy Tuesday to you. Throughout the next 2 to 3 days, high pressure is going to be our main weather source. That means we're dry. It means we're cool in the mornings and comfortably warm in the afternoons with sunshine. But that'll start to change as we head especially towards Saturday, and we see this area of low pressure developing near the coast. Gives us a better chance of rain by then. We're updating you with the timing, the totals, the details all throughout the week. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning on the Sprint.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Moving on, speaking about fall, it is almost here, and no one does fall like Mother Nature in the Great Smoky Mountains. We're talking about Dollywood taking advantage of the fall craze. So check this out. Looks pretty dope, y'all. This week, the Harvest Festival featuring the Great Pumpkin Luminites returns to the park with thousands of the carved pumpkins all over Dollywood. It's a great time for families with kids of all ages to enjoy.
Mother Nature is really showing off all her colors, and then we add all these amazing carved pumpkin displays. And if you are a roller coaster person, riding the rides at night where you can see all the harvest twinkle below, is an extra added bonus for that thrill.
I am definitely a roller coaster person. I absolutely love the idea of riding roller coasters and seeing all the sprinkling and twinkling lights and stuff below. I need to go just check it out in general because it looks pretty cool. But they also have unveiled harvest themed food, which means pumpkin flavored everything. Dollywood's Harvest Festival kicks off this Wednesday. You can find a link to buy tickets on our website at WSLS.com. Look at that. That's just a sight to see. That's just straight up artwork. And to think that that is made from gourds and pumpkins and all that good stuff. It's always cool, man. Dolly is doing it big, and it's always great to go out there. People who have experiences say it's just a blast. So, yeah, I might need to check it out this year, at least to ride the roller coaster. At least to ride the roller coaster. So, you guys all heard of Bob Ross. His paintings are very, very, like, how should I put this? It makes you go to sleep. It's very soothing, you know? Well, get this, the most historical, significant Bob Ross painting ever created is for sale at a Minnesota art gallery. So, this particular painting was created on his show live on air during the very first episode of his iconic show, The Joy of Painting. It's called A Walk in the Woods and is listed for nearly $10 million. A lot of chunk. So the owner hopes to share it with a museum or traveling exhibit. The original oil painting includes a happy little tree and a path that wanders, which is part of his signature style. Always very therapeutic to watch him paint because he's so chill. You know, his little, like as our producer said earlier, just the slap of the paintbrush, just that sound right there just makes you like, oh my gosh, I can go to sleep right now. You blink and you look up and he's created a whole tree with all these details, 3D action. I'm like, bro, like literally that's awesome. And I bet you I would be surprised if there are a lot of kids who didn't see him paint and ask for a paint set because you wanted to try it out. I remember my sister getting one of those Bob Ross paint sets and trying to paint, even though she was very blessed as far as art. Like she could draw anything, so her stuff always turned out great. My stuff will forever be stick figures and oil paintings and nothing nearly as good as a Bob Ross painting. But maybe one day I can paint something, sell it for $10 million. We never know. Okay, so let's get to this fantasy football thing. This is something that I still do not understand, but a lot of people get it. Okay, so NFL season underway, which also means the return of fantasy football. Now, $20 billion industry, and experts see that tripling in 2030. Now, for those who don't know, players across the league are drafted into virtual teams who then earn points depending on how they perform on the field. Data shows that nearly 1 in 5 NFL fans have played fantasy football in the last 12 months, which is by far the highest rate of any U.S. sport fan base. So for me personally speaking, like I told you, I don't understand it. I don't get it. It's not for everyone, but I know a lot of people get very, very excited about fantasy football. I'm just going to make a prediction. Whoever, I'm assuming I'm about to do this right. Whoever decides to get the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, my my, I call him my my symbolic husband because he's very beautiful. But either way, if you pick him, you're gonna win. So that's my bet. I'm not even sure if I'm doing it correctly or not. But let's bring in Jazzy Jazz. Jazz, how you doing? Jazz, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you, girl. I can hear you now. So we're talking about this fantasy football deal. Are you familiar with it? Do you know how to play it?
No.
So,
Yeah, I had to read up on it too before I started. So yeah, this is my first time looking into it. But yeah, I'm not really a sports girl. So.
oh, okay. Hey, that's understandable. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, people are hyped up about football season. But I would say that the thing that I love the most about football is not the fantasy football or anything. It's just the atmosphere. Everybody is just like their own little warrior teams.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm not really a sports person, but I do love the energy that comes with it. Because everyone is just super excited. Like the atmosphere, the environment just feels amazing. And it's nice to go to a football game and just feel the energy from everyone who's cheering on their favorite team. So.
Definitely. Tell me, do we have any viewers or comments today?
Yeah, we have viewers. We don't have any comments though, but like I said, or like I've said previously, leaving a comment is a piece of cake. Just head to our website, click on the Morning Sprint article, and the comment form is right within that. You can also go to our Facebook or our YouTube and leave a comment there as well. And we will always respond to your comments live. So we would love to hear from you guys.
Awesome sauce, Jazz. Well, thank you so much, girlie.
Yeah, of course. Have a great day.
You too, hon. All right, guys, before we roll out, let's get to these headlines of today so you guys will know what to look for in our later newscasts, including 10 News at noon. In a joint news conference yesterday, police and city leaders called on the community to step up and help in preventing efforts of gun violence. This comes after there's been 26 homicides this year so far. So, yeah, it's been pretty violent. We need to get our lives together, so we're following up on that. Also, happening today, you can weigh in on the big I-81 project where there's a public meeting project on the project that's widened 7 miles. There will be at least 3 lanes in both directions between exit 143 in Roanoke County and exit 150 in Botetourt County, something a lot of people are excited about. And then this disturbing story that we've been covering extensively, new details on the fallout of the local gynecologist who stepped down following accusations of incidents ranging from harassment to sexual assault. This is happening in the Lynchburg Gynecology Clinic. Our very own Alyssa Ray has been working on this story and still trying to come up with, or figure out the end and the root of this investigation. Several people have come forward after a first initial complaint. So very disturbing stuff right there. We're going to be following this, and hopefully we'll have more details on this extensive investigative report later on. But for right now, guys, again, thank you so much for joining us on our Tuesday edition of the Morning Sprint. If you got anything you want to see or hear or want to comment on, please drop it in the comment section on this article. We would love to get back to it. I would love to get back to y'all's pins too. Send us some pins so we can have that engagement as well. But again, thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. We'll be back here again on your hump day, 8 a.m. WSLS.com on the Morning Sprint.